right, welcome everybody. Super excited. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up today. We're going to keep this tight and value packed, but we're going to talk about the thing that everybody wants in their business, and that is AI. Super excited to have my good friend Michael Walsh here today.
How's it going?
Michael, we're gonna dive in deep and basically how to streamline your entire real estate business, and this is something you have a ton of
Absolutely.
experience in. Super excited. So I know we've got a bunch of people on like all different kinds of platforms. You ready to jump in and do it?
Absolutely. Let's go for it.
Let's go.
Shoot. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and dive in today. We're going to be talking about from clicks to closing. We're going to literally walk you through from getting the clicks, getting the lead, to closing the deal and getting it to the title.
So, awesome. Well, how about this? How about I introduce you and say all kinds of great things about you? So, man, been doing this a long time. UpRank has been around for over a year, but you've been in this business for so long, over 20 years. Started with SEO, which remember was like the hot topic so many years ago, or the hot strategy. But now, as you know, our world is changing with ChatGPT and Perplexity and all these different things, making sure that we are optimizing AI and not only just in searches, but in running our business. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So super excited to have you. And guys, I wanted to make sure that we bring on the very, very best. You know, Michael has worked with some of the top brands, the top coaches, the top softwares all across, you know, the real estate kind of ecosystem. So he is the trusted voice to bring in here and teach you exactly how to implement this into your business. I mean, literally 20 years doing this. He's been doing marketing and, you know, all of this optimization for as long as I've been out being a knuckle dragging wholesaler. So I'm definitely excited to see and hear all of the stuff that he is going to bring to us. So welcome, man. Super excited for this.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here. And as you guys all know, David has been in real estate here for 22 years. And he started out with his $5,000, his pickup truck. And this one, when I saw this today, I was just like, oh my God.
It's weird. It sounds terrible or whatever.
1,600 deals closed.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And 8,000 files. Wow.
Yeah.
And I just a vast wealth of knowledge that we're going to be diving in today. And I'm super excited to get to your part because I love to always know, like, I'm so used to the beginning of the deal and getting the lead and getting it in there, the motivated leads and all that stuff. But it's like hearing that second part of what happens is always so fun too. So.
And that's what I think that there's going to be so much value in this for people who are listening. It's because we're finally stitching the whole business together. Right? So often coaches and people get on here and they talk about one piece of the pie, but it's not everything. And by the time you get done, you're like, yeah, I get it. I need the widget. But what do I do for the rest? Like, how do I put it all together and make it a real system? So super excited. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to listen and take some notes here, but I'm definitely ready to go.
Yeah. So here's just a breakdown real quick of our goals for today. We're just going to kind of move through this today real quick. But the goal is to really go into the marketing, the follow-up, the closing, and the profit to reinvest into your business. And it's really easy to get caught up into just one piece of this funnel. The problem is what I've seen is when a guy gets really good at one piece, for example, you could be the best marketer out there, but if you can't get that deal to the title and get that deal to close, then it doesn't matter how good of a marketer you are. And so we're going to be going through the whole entire framework today. And so I'm going to be starting it off with the 4 steps to getting more motivated seller leads. And we're going to use AI to do this. And so a lot of times we think of AI and we hear about AI and we hear about all these things that it can do. The thing is it can do certain things very, very well. It can do some things pretty well. And then it just really, really stinks at doing certain things. And so what we're going to do is we're going to figure out what it can do today in your marketing to help you drive forward. Now, as I go through these 4 steps today, I want you to think about it this way. You could do any one of these steps pretty much manually. You might not get as good of results from doing it manually, and it's going to take you a lot more time and effort to do it manually. So I'm always a really big component of, hey, the idea of saying, hey, let's make it easier and team up with either somebody or something that can help us. And we used to look at who is the who? Like who's the who that I know in marketing? Who's the who that I know in, closing deals? How can I learn from these people? But nowadays, we need to ask, what can AI do for me first? And so each one of these steps that I'm going to go through, the brand, I'm going to go through the creative, the copy, the audience. I'm going to go through the launching your ads, and I'm going to go through the optimization side a little bit. And I'm going to show you how AI can be connected to each one of these. But just remember, you could take any of these tips along the way, and you could actually just take this framework and you could go do it manually. It's just going to take you a lot more work. So what if AI could track and optimize your ads for you? What if you had a way that you could put out your ads like this, and you had the AI come back to you and it said, hey, this one right here, the one in red, is not doing as well as the one in green. And then it would even turn around and stop pushing dollars to the one in red, start pushing dollars to the one in green, and start replacing the one in red with other creatives. Well, guess what? It can. We have that ability today. And so we have the ability for AI now to be able to do this. AI is really decent at creating some creatives, and we've seen it create creatives. It's not always the best, but it's decent. But what it's really good at is data. And I will say that so many times. If you ever hear me speak about this, I'm always talking about the data. It's really good at looking at millions of data points very quickly and saying, oh, this is the one you want to focus on. This is the one you want to do. Oh, here's the changes you want to make. Because it can look at it all at once versus us. We have to look at line by line, and we have to remember back and stuff like that. So how do we get the creatives is going to be the big question that we're going to answer today. And then how do we get those creatives optimized? But it all starts with the first step, your brand. As AI enters the scene today, brand is super important, because there is going to be a day. You have to remember, there's going to be a day when people don't get on the internet and search. They're going to say to their ChatGPT, their Gemini, their whatever bot, they're going to say, hey, find me this. And that bot is going to go out there and start searching for the brand that fits that the best. It's going to look at reviews. It's going to look at branding. It's going to look at consistency across the internet. So making sure every profile lines up, because AI is very much focused in on consistency. So if your brand says one thing on this website, a different thing on this website, and a different thing on this website, guess what's going to happen? It's going to say, better go look at somebody else instead, because this isn't a consistent brand. And so brand is so important. And inside of UpRank, inside of our platform, we actually focus on this first. We focus on getting your brand info, your brand voice, and then your products and services into the site. And you can add all of this information by just putting your website into our system, and then the AI will pull all that information. You can also have the AI help you generate new products, new services with it. You can also add it manually. And then if you have a lot of products and services, I know more for not for our real estate space, but really for the e-com side, or for like the car dealership side, where they have a lot of products, the bulk upload is a great feature that we also have. So you can manually build your brand, or you can use a system like UpRank to help you speed up the process to build your brand. The next part of the system that you need to be focused on is, once you have your brand down, is really about taking that brand and then easily creating the creatives, the copy, and the audience. Okay, now you can go on and log into Facebook or log into Google, and you can do this inside of those. You can also log into UpRank, where we have access to basically put in all your information. The AI looks through everything. As you can see here in the picture, you see that it has the leads as the goal. So getting leads is goal. And then we look at the what we have here. It's a cash offer in real estate. You could put any product in there that you would want to put in there. So maybe you're not looking to get a cash offer. Maybe you're trying to sell a home, market a home. Maybe you're an agent. You're trying to, list a home or find a listing or something like that. And so you can put whatever product you want in, and then you put raw assets in. Once you click generate, it is then going to generate ads for you across the platform. And depending on which platform you have connected in, you can have up to 10 different platforms connected in, from Facebook to Google to TikTok and beyond. It's going to create you 4 videos and 4 images to start with. And it's going to create them right there for you. And you're going to be able to pick which images you want. You're going to be able to edit them right on the platform. I can literally go in on the platform, don't have to go over to Canva, don't have to go anywhere else. I can edit the images and I can edit the videos. And so if you don't like the length of the video, if you don't like the music, if you want to change that out, if you want to change out and add a voiceover, if you want to change the images that it used out of the images you gave it, you can change it out. It's very easy to edit right on platform. And then that will be added into your folder. Now, this can all be done manually on the platforms, but it's so much quicker inside of here. Once you're done getting the creative, it's going to give you all the creative. It takes like 2 to 3 minutes tops for it to give you that. It'll also give you the copy. So it'll give you 4 different primary texts, 4 different headlines. And depending if you're in Google search, then it's going to give you even more headlines. And it's going to break them down. It's going to give you keywords and all that kind of stuff as well. But it's going to create all this for you. And then you can turn around and you can go in and you can edit it manually. You can edit it with AI. You just click the purple buttons right there and you can say, I want it longer. I want it shorter. I want it rewritten. I want a different tone. All those different things are built right into the system to make it a lot quicker and easier for you. And then on top of that, it's also going to build your audience for you. So right here, we have the audience it built. Location was Cleveland for this one. You could change the location. You can, in the beginning, if you set up your brand, whatever locations, you can add in more locations. You could go nationwide if you wanted to go nationwide with this. However you want to do it, statewide, whatever you want to do. It's going to remove the age and gender if you're in the real estate space, just because this is a special category in housing and you're not allowed to do age and gender. And then it's going to find all these categories, these special categories for where your audience is. And you can change those out. You can save different audiences. You can create new audiences. You can also do retargeting as well inside the platform directly. And you can also upload your list. If you, let's say you have a list of past people, maybe you've pulled a list and you were cold calling them for a while and you're like, I just want to run ads to them. You can run ads to them. Maybe you had a list of people that were interested, but they never ended up selling their home. You can add those in and you can run ads to those people as well. So there's so many different things you can do directly on the platform when it comes to running those ads. And then number 3, you're going to launch your ad. And so you've got your creative, you've got your words, you've got all your copy, and you've got your audience. So that's how easy it is to literally build an ad, whether you're doing manually or you're using AI. AI just speeds up the process. It fine-tunes the process. And then on our platform, when you're ready to launch, you're already connected in to your Facebook page. For example, this is a Facebook ad. You're going to first pick which call to action you want. Any call to action that's on Facebook is available on our platform. You're going to choose your budget. You can see here, you can even ask it to recommend a budget. It's going to show you what that budget's going to get you. It's going to give you kind of a forecast of what you're going to get with that audience and that budget. And then you can add in your lead list here, your form, your lead form for your list. And so you can either do that or you could push it to your website. It's really up to you what you want to do. Whether you want to do a landing page and take the time to build that, or if you just want to do a lead form in the beginning because you're like, I'm going to wait, I don't have a landing page yet, you can do that as well. I always recommend to people that when they're doing this, that they have, the goal to have a landing page, because you might use lead forms and do really well for a while, but then you might add in a landing page and find that it gets you even better conversions. And then something specific to our platform that you will not find on Facebook or any of the other platforms is this button right here. It's the Optimize For Me. And what this does is it now gives AI permission to optimize the ad for you. Now, what we also have is this creative bank here where you can add more images, add more videos, and you can add more copy. And you can add up to 50 for each ad. So if you think about this, as the ad realizes, as the AI realizes this picture is not doing very well, it pulls it out, drops in one of these others. Let's try that out for a little bit. It's not working. Drops in another. That one's working. Let's push that one forward and push more money to that. And then you can turn around and launch your campaign right from our platform. You didn't even have to get inside of Facebook. And so remember what I said about optimizing the ad with AI? Well, guess what? That's how you do it. Literally, you walk through each one of those steps. You go through all 4 of those steps, or all 3 of those steps. We're going right into 4 here in just a moment. Go through all those 3 steps. You launch that ad, and now it comes time to optimize it. So as we look at step number 4, this is literally what happens on our platform. So as you look at this, you can see the AI is doing all of these different things along the way, and it's noting down what it's doing for you on the back end of the platform. It goes out and gets benchmarks. It performs benchmarks. As it's doing it optimizing daily, it's performing benchmarks every week, every few weeks, just depending on whenever it needs to perform those. Sometimes they're a little closer, sometimes they're a little further. And you'll see right here, now it's recommending, oh, let's increase the budget because these ads are running really well. They're really healthy campaigns. Everything's going good. And then it even recommended to turn on Performance Max campaign with Google. So it was a Facebook was running, and now it's saying, hey, let's turn on some Performance Max campaigns with Google. And then you can also see right here that it will make even more suggestions. And right inside the platform, you can click on these. So you need to add new ad sets. You can click right on that button. It'll take you right to the ad set, and you'll be able to build it right there very quickly, very easily. So that's literally how easy it is to run ads. Like, people overcomplicate this, but if you think about the step-by-step process of this, if you go in and you think about, I'm going to do these 4 things. I'm going to focus on my brand. I'm going to focus on getting the creative, the copy, the audience. I'm going to launch my ad, and then I'm going to optimize it. Those are the 4 steps that you want to focus on. If you're focused in on those 4 steps, and then you connect AI in, you're going to do nothing but win. Like, literally, because as we get into the world of marketing, people like to make it so complicated and then say, oh, nobody else can do it. Only I can do it. And you hear people say that all the time. Oh, you can't do it. But I always am a big person on the area of owning your marketing.
Yeah.
And so if you don't own your own marketing, then you end up getting in trouble because somebody else owns it for you. And I'm going to leave you guys, as I hand you guys off to David here, I'm going to leave you with this story. I had this guy come to me a little while back, and he had spent $25,000 on ad management over the past year. And he literally had gotten pretty much no leads from it, hardly that converted.
Yeah.
It was just a bunch of money spending towards the management, towards his budget.
Mhm.
And in the end, when he said, I want to leave, he lost everything. Like, he lost the landing pages.
He didn't own the accounts. He didn't own anything.
He didn't know. They owned it all. And so if you're going to ever work with an agency, make sure you own everything. Make sure you stay on top of it. Make sure you stay, you know what you're getting into, because you're getting into a relationship.
Right.
And that's why we created this.
I think it's amazing. I think and for me personally, years ago when we were, running in 28 different markets, the reason that I had an agency was because it was too complicated. I didn't, really quick story. I was coaching and I went to my buddy who runs a ton of PPC in Phoenix, and we sat down next to each other, Michael, and he had his computer and I had mine. He's like, okay, step by step, we're going to pull up Google AdWords. Dude, 10 minutes into that, I knew there was no fucking chance I was ever going home to Chattanooga and running any of the shit that he was saying. Like, I knew right then, I'm like, I'm not that smart. It's too complicated for me. Yeah. But what you just described is stunningly Forrest Gump simple. I mean, yes. I absolutely love it. And it can be done for just pennies compared to what some of these agencies are going to charge you.
Absolutely.
And you're right. They don't care.
Nope.
Right.
Nope.
They're just giving you some pre-boxed, oh, here's my 100-city advertising thing, and I'm just going to plug this into you like I've put 5 other people in there this week, and if it works, great. But they don't really care, and that is the problem. Owning it is so important. It's like hiring a property manager. Yeah, do they care? Yeah, maybe they do, but it's not their business. They're not the ones having to make that mortgage payment if it doesn't get rented, right? This is our business. We should control it. And I love the ability to go in there and tweak it. And it makes great suggestions, because your platforms agnostic. It doesn't care how much money Google makes. It's only giving you the right.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It does not, it's not a Google product. It's not a
Yeah.
Facebook product. It's,
Right.
our goal is to help you to get better leads and to get
Mhm.
more leads. And like you
Right.
said, it's dirt cheap. I mean, we started $130 a month. So
That's incredibly cheap.
seriously.
I absolutely love it. And I got a bunch of questions. We will come back to
Cool.
those at
That
the
sounds
end, though,
good.
because I want to make sure
Oh yeah,
I get them answered. But
absolutely.
which one?
So now that you guys have the deal, we got you the deal with UpRank. You got the lead, you got the deal, you closed the deal. Now it's time to make sure it gets to title.
All right, let's do it. So that's exciting. So yeah, so before we go too far, let me just pause here for 1 second. And before I even tell you what we're doing at EasyR React Closing, I want you to understand who we are and why that matters. And we're not just some Johnny come lately trying to figure out how we can profit off of investors or how we can do something. We are investors, right? Every system, every process, every checklist inside of our company, inside of EasyR React Closings was born out of 22 years of just getting sometimes punched in the face, right? With real deals and real wins and the losses and, the chaos that we had to overcome to survive, right? So, like Michael said a little bit earlier, everything that we're going to talk about today, you could do yourself, right? But, the thing that I like to talk about is I'm always looking for tools and systems that can amplify and accelerate the things that we are doing. Right? How do we go further? How do we go faster? And adding AI in is just, my gosh, it's been just such a game changer for our business. That's why I'm always so excited to bring somebody on who has a legitimate product. But the same thing in transactions, right? Should you be spending your time trying to figure out what a monument of title is, right? No, we all read Rich Dad Poor Dad so we can go out there and help people and make a lot of money. So, we don't want to do that. So literally everything that we have built has come out of that. And for me, I know it sounds like the most cliche thing, but literally I moved to Chattanooga with, a wife, 2 boys, 3 fat dogs, $5,000 and an old pickup truck that I inherited from my dad. And since then, my team and I, and let me just tell you, a lot of times I get credit for stuff, but I have 25 people in this office right here. And they are the ones that should get all of the glory because they've worked over 8,000 investor files nationwide, closed over $500 million and almost $60 million in verified profits for our clients. So we are legitimately in the trenches every single day doing this business. And the deals, they're not just these cookie cutter wholesaling deals, right? We're doing novations and sub-2 and creative financing and JV structures and everything that not only makes an investor pull out their hair, but title companies they're like, that's kryptonite. I don't want anything to do with that. So when we say built by investors for investors, that's not a slogan. It's a reality because we've lived the same grind that you're probably going through right now, right? The thing that's keeping you up at night. And we've been the ones chasing the signatures and babysitting title and watching deals die, right? For no good reason. That is why Heather and I built EasyR React Closings to fix the very problems that this industry just ignored for too long. That coaches were just out there saying, just go find an investor-friendly title company and you'll be fine. And that's just the biggest bunch of hogwash. We're going to come back to that in just a minute. But here's what I want you to think about. I want you to imagine working with a team that actually gets it, right? A team that knows what it feels like when a seller ghosts you or won't pick up the phone, right? When a title company just kills your creative deal because that's not legal or that's not, my underwriter won't do that. Or, when a buyer flakes out 48 hours before closing and you just see that $50,000 deal just literally evaporate. That's who's behind this company. People who have been there and people who built a system to make sure that you never have to go through any of that stuff again. That is literally our driving force. So sorry. Anyways, that is why we're so obsessed with solving what I love to call like the hidden killers of investor profits, right? Those things that just pop up all over the place. And that's that chaos that happens after the contract is signed because it's not your marketing that's costing you the money, right? Michael and UpRank, they've got that on lock. It's what happens next, right? So let's look at this just a little bit and let's be honest, right? Most investors, they're not losing money because they're just struggling to find leads, right? Michael, again, has that on lock. UpRank, you're going to sign up for that. And it's ridiculously cheap. I can't even believe it's that cheap. But they're losing money in their business because of just those chaos behind the scenes of after they get the contract, all right? For those of you that are doing deals, think about it, right? How many times have you lost a deal because somebody didn't follow up? Somebody didn't call the seller every week. Somebody didn't make sure they knew what the next step was because a title issue just sat on somebody's desk for 2 weeks and they thought you were going to do it and you thought they were going to do it and somebody thought the underwriter was going to do it, or just communication fell apart between the buyer, the seller, and title. This is what kills your profit. It's not always competition. It's not the market. I promise you, the market is great for investors right now. It's the missed contracts and title delays and the breakdowns that nobody catches in time. And here's the truth, right? The average investor, like honestly, the best investors lose 3 to 4 deals every single year because of this kind of disorganization. I know when I was running at scale in 28 markets, I lost at least one a month, right? So do the math. The average assignment fee, let's just say $15,000. It should be a lot higher, but let's just say 15 because it's easy math. That could be $45,000 to $60,000 gone every single year, right? Not because you didn't market hard enough or you weren't using UpRank, but because you didn't have a system strong enough to take that baton that got handed off and make sure that these deals got through closing. So it's not always a marketing failure, right? It's a system failure. And once you start to see that, I promise you can't unsee it, right? It's like now it's crystal clear, like you've suddenly put your glasses on. So you start to realize it's not about doing more, right? It's about tightening that back end so that every contract you earn that you fought for actually gets you paid. And then all of this new marketing that you're doing, right? It's bringing in more opportunity and more of those are going to close. And your system, that's going to determine whether or not that opportunity becomes money or misery. So just imagine, like, we want to eliminate that chaos entirely. Imagine if every deal you locked up was guaranteed to move forward, right? With the communication handled and title was tracked and deadlines were not getting missed and EMD always got put in, right? That's not a dream. That's exactly what we built. So it's amazing. Let me show you how we convert that chaos into cash flow. So chaos is not it's not what you're looking for, right? It isn't a cost of doing business. It's a choice, right? You're choosing chaos by trying to do it all yourself. And I was so guilty of this. I was the guy who's like, nobody's as smart as me. Nobody works as hard as me. Nobody cares as hard as me. And, I was just trying to do every single thing myself. I was not amplifying and accelerating my business. So once you understand how simple this system is, I promise you'll never go back. And we have a 94% retention rate with our clients because they're like, David, I don't ever want to do that mess again. Like it sucked. So at Easy REI Closings, we built an entire system around one mission, one thing. This is the only thing that we do, right? We help investors close more, close faster, and work less, right? That's what we all want, right? And here's how it works. On every single deal, you get a dedicated coordinator, somebody who wakes up every morning and their job is to focus on getting your contract to the closing table. Our triple check process, we catch every single mistake before they hit title. And we can go so long into that, all of the things that my partner Heather has built out, all the audits and KPIs and all the accountability that you could never possibly build into your team. You have it, like you can have it tomorrow. Our seller engagement system literally keeps your sellers calm, confident, and cooperative so your deal doesn't die in silence. And this is something we built out of our company, out of doing 1,600 deals. We understand that you've got to talk to Mrs. Smith every single week. You've got to tell her where we're at in the process. Somebody has to do this. Again, you can do it yourself, but your time should be chasing down leads and turning those into contracts, right? Not doing this type of stuff. And because we ran a real business, I understand that we're going to need to give you weekly updates, right? Which means total transparency. You always know exactly where every single file stands. And because our team is trained, right? It takes our certified coordinators 2 to 3 months to get trained, right? They understand wholesaling, innovations, and creative finance. There's no learning curve. Once you hire them and we bring them on, you don't have to panic when things get complicated because we will solve it. So this is what it looks like in real life. Contract signed, right? If you want, we can even sell it for you through our Dispo network, completely optional, but we're going to get that title work done and you're going to get paid, right? That's it. I want you focused on locking up contracts. That's where we make money and we will handle everything after the signature. So again, just imagine how much faster you could scale, right? You don't have to say, well, in 3 years, I'd like to get to this level. You can do it now. You've got the perfect system now for putting together great leads, right? And making sure those leads convert so that you're just getting blown up with sellers all day long who want you to buy their property, right? And now you don't have to chase title. There's no hunting for updates, no last minute chaos. Just clean, consistent closings handled by experts who will treat your deal like their own, right? Because this is how they are paid and how they are graded and monitored and all of that stuff. They treat it like a little Fabergé egg, and they want to make sure that that thing gets over the finish line. And this is what it feels like to be supported by a team built for investors, by investors. You don't have to understand the whole process. You just have to trust that every single detail is being handled. And think about this, right? So UpRank is going to help you find the deal. And now, Easy REI Closings, we're going to close it for you. It's a complete system. It's everything you need. It's front end growth meets back end execution. And that combination, that is what is going to turn your business into a predictable, scalable machine. And that, I know we had over 100 people register for that call. This is for this call. That is what you're looking for, right? This is the answer. And on the next slide, I'm going to show you exactly what that means for your bottom line, how much money you're leaving on the table if you haven't fixed this yet. So no matter what type of investor you are, right? Whether you're locking up your first wholesale deal or, like some of our clients, you're managing 20 contracts a month. The next part is what makes Easy REI Closing so powerful. Again, built and run by real investors. We've lived through and done every possible scenario. Our team has managed over 8,000 files nationwide. Think about that. That's an astronomical number. Honestly, I can't even believe it when I say it, but my partner keeps showing me the spreadsheet and there it is, right? But every strategy, wholesale, innovation, sub-2, creative, notes, lease option, whatever, right? Our team, like I said earlier, they're all in-house. They're here. There's no virtual assistants that don't know the difference between a shingle roof and a thatch roof, right? There's nobody working at home watching Breaking Bad and doing laundry and holding their kid and making spaghetti for their husband before they come home. All in-house certified, no random VAs, no guesswork. Every coordinator on our team is trained and certified and tested through hundreds of real estate transactions. And this means we're not out there waiting for problems to happen. We solve them before they can derail your deal. Why? Because we've seen 8,000 of them. Like, we get it, you know? The difference between losing a $15,000 payday and closing it without breaking a sweat. That's the difference of working with Easy REI Closings. We keep your sellers happy. We talk to them constantly, buyers informed, and we get those closings on track to close fast, right? So that's the result, right? You get paid fast, smooth, stress-free. And, just imagine that every time you lock up a deal, you know that it's handled. You know that somebody is going to be working at somebody who knows, oh, this is a weird deal. Oh, that's no problem. They got this. You're not out there chasing all these weird signatures. You're not wondering if title's moving. You're focusing on growth, right? Because the backside of your business is solid. The front side, UpRank's got that. You just handled a little bit in the middle, and let's get some deals closed. And that's what happens when your files are handled by experts, right? And not just experts, but people who have been where you are right now, trying to grow a company, right? So real investors, certified experts, seamless closings. That's what we built. And that's what you deserve, right? That's what you deserve. So when you look at the numbers, that impact is absolutely undeniable. So let's talk about what happens when you profit and you stop losing those deals to chaos, right? So let's make it real for a minute, right? Let's talk about some real numbers, because I have lost deals and I've had deals get saved by coordinators. The average investor, again, loses, what do we say, three to four deals per year. And, not because you didn't do everything right, but just because stuff happens, right? It's monument of title, it's lost death certificates, it's all of those things. And it's just heartbreaking. I had the last deal that I lost was $106,000. And it was just absolutely brutal. So let's kind of bring it all together, right? And I want to leave some time here, but this is where everything starts to click. This is what your business looks like when you stop trying to do it all yourself and you finally plug into that system, a real system that has proven results. Because when you connect UpRank on the front end with Easy REI Closings on the back end, you don't just get more deals, you get more control, just like Michael talked about, right? So let's walk through the life cycle of a deal the way the pros run it. Right? You've got your lead, right? UpRank's AI-driven ads, they're bringing in more sellers, motivated, qualified, ready to talk, right? And automated follow-up will keep those leads engaged, building trust until they're ready to sign. Because sometimes everybody's not a one-call close, right? You contract it, you lock up the deal, and then that's where we step in. Like I said, if you want, we can just dispo the deal for you. But if you want to dispo it, great. But then it shifts over to title, and our concierge level coordination takes over. Clearing title, managing communication, keeping everybody aligned, right? And then you have closing, right? We will handle all of the compliance and the communication. And if you've been paying attention at all, we've got states that are just coming out with new rules and laws against wholesaling. You want to make sure you're doing everything right so that nothing slips and nothing stalls. And then the whole reason we do this, profit, right? You get paid and you get paid fast. So every stage is covered, no cracks, no chaos, just one seamless flow from click to closing. You don't need 10 systems. You don't. You don't need to hire 5 different people and have them in office, right? You need one machine that runs like it was built for investors, because this is built for investors. And that's what scaling, that's what it feels like when you're not trapped in the weeds, right? When you've got AI filling your pipeline and a world-class team pushing every single deal possible over that finish line. So the question isn't whether it works. Like, I feel like I don't know what other questions there are. I mean, this works. Like, you've got 2 guys with 40 years experience that have been through the trials and tribulations showing you this is the answer. It's just how fast you want it to start working for you, right? Because when you can close more deals faster with less stress, you free up your time, your energy, and your focus so that you can grow. And then think about what your life is like, right? Now you want to go pick up your kid at 2 p.m. after school and go take them for an ice cream. Fantastic. You want to go on vacation and not have to worry that your marketing's running or that your deals are going to get closed. You can do that, right? And so how fast do you want to grow? That's what the next step talks about, right? Choosing your path and deciding how big you want to scale this year, right? Now is the time to be planning for 2026. This is the season that we're in. So ultimately, we want to take you from that chaos to control. And once you plug in, you stop losing deals, right? You stop losing deals and you start compounding your wins, because now more of your deals are going to close, right? The average contract to close rate in the United States right now is 50%. That means you're literally flipping a coin every single time that you get a property. Our clients are closing up to 78%. That's almost a 50% increase. Think about that. So now you don't have to blow up your marketing budget, because more of your deals will close. It's amazing. And you could stop guessing and start scaling with clarity and consistency. Think about the transparency that you've got now on both sides of your business, the control as the CEO you have, right? So you can stop working harder and finally start working smarter. That was something my daddy always said: work smart, not hard. Work like a CEO, right? Not just somebody out there putting out fires. And ultimately, don't make the mistake that I did. Stop doing it all alone. Instead, join a system that handles all the chaos for you so you can focus on the reason you got in this business: helping sellers, finding deals for buyers where they're going to make a lot of money and you can profit, right? This is the identity shift that every investor eventually you're going to have to make, right? I had to make it. It took me a long time. I was a little slower than normal. Don't be like me, but you have to go from hustler to operator, right? From grinding it out to growing, and from ultimately chaos to control, right? And when you make that shift, that's when business starts to compound and it just starts going up and to the right, not just in profit, right? I tell people, we're a transaction coordination company, but ultimately we're in the peace of mind business. Peace of mind that I know my deals are going to close and I can count on that assignment fee coming in so that I can run my business. So imagine logging in and just seeing new leads already followed up with, contracts are moving, closings are scheduled, and your only job is to find the next opportunity. That's what it feels like when this entire machine is working for you, right? Close more, close fast, close less, or work less. Close one more time. Close more, close fast, work less. I get excited. That's not marketing. That's math with momentum. Do you understand that? So now the only thing left to decide, right, is how fast you want to step into that level of control. So, let's really talk about that. This is your next step. You've seen how UpRank is going to generate more motivated sellers with that AI-driven marketing, which is just boom, mind-blowing. I tell you, I've seen the presentation twice, and every single time I'm taking pages of notes, right? But then how we can come in at Easy REI Closings and take those deals and push them over the finish line fast, right? Together, it is the complete investor growth system. I'll tell you guys, I don't do a lot of these co-branded webinars like where we're both on here, but this is one time where it's so crystal clear and it makes so much sense that I just had to bring Michael on and make sure that we did this, right? I want you to have
Yeah.
those front end AI leads and then have us on the back end doing that expert coordination, all working in sync. Right. And for higher volume investors, yeah, if you want, we have the done for you dispo option. If you want to book a call, we can talk about that. But here's what I want you to do. In a minute, I'm going to put something up here. I want you to grab your phone, right? Scan the QR code, and that's going to take you to both of our calendars where you can book a free growth call. If you're already using one of us, you need to be using the other one. If you're not using either, scan both, book a call. Let's talk about it, right? Let's look at what your current marketing is and your closing flow, right? Let's identify where the leaks are. Right. I'm not saying you need to spend more money. Let's be the little Dutch boy and start putting our finger in the holes and stop the money that's just burning through your Amex. Right. And let's map out how to connect both systems so that you can scale faster with total control. And you'll leave both of these calls with a complete roadmap for growth. Something clear, simple, ready to implement. And here's the kicker. For us on our side, for many investors, we can actually set this up for you at no cost to you, right? We call it our pass-through play, and we'll walk you through exactly how that works on the call, but it lets you leverage the deals you're doing and offset the cost of having us work for you. It literally pays for itself. And all of these things together, this is why the partnership between UpRank and Easy has just absolutely exploded, because it's built for investors who are done guessing and they just want to scale. Like, they're just tired of beating their head against the wall. So, I hope we've kept this as value driven as possible. That was our goal. No fluff, no pressure, just literally clarity and strategy to move your business forward. Let's put it in place before the end of the year so that you roll into 2026 and just absolutely explode, because the market is ripe for us.
Yes,
So
it is.
yeah. So here's what I want you to do is scan those codes, grab a time that works for you, and let's build your next level together. And so that's it, guys. You've seen how UpRank can help you generate motivated sellers and fill your pipeline, again, with incredibly high quality leads. It's stunning how AI has really come in here and allowed us to just feel like you're adding a whole team to the back of your business. You've seen how easy REI closings, how we can take those deals and turn them into fast, stress-free closings so that you can finally scale without that chaos. And these two companies together represent a complete investor ecosystem, one that drives opportunity and the other one will drive results. So again, if you haven't taken out your phone, pull it out right now, open the camera, scan the QR code. If you're using one, scan the other one. If you're not using either, scan them both. Let's jump on a call. I promise you, we are the least high pressure guys that have ever existed. So if you're ready to streamline your closings, stop losing deals, and literally scale your operation, right? And I'm not saying you got to scale it to 100 deals a month, but my gosh, let's just take the dumb stuff off of our chest, right? Let's just make life easy. But either way, no matter which one you choose or both, you're going to win. So again, on our call, both of our teams, we're very committed to this. We're going to connect the dots for you, show you exactly how to plug these two systems in together so that everything runs like just one very smooth machine. And remember, we can set this up on our side. You can actually charge your buyer for our services. It's not going to cost you anything. But yeah, I mean, that's what I've got, Michael. What do you got? Let's bring this home and close us out.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, that is, I was thinking about it as you were talking about this all, and I was thinking about how so many times people get into this game and they don't realize that all that they need to be focused in on getting is this system. And instead, they're trying to always do all these other things, and they never take the time to just say, okay, what's the step-by-step system I need to follow? Yeah. I need the leads, good quality, qualified, inbound, motivated seller leads. I need those. I need to follow up with those leads. So many people don't do that. And then they come back and they say, oh, I have bad leads. Well, how many times did you call your lead? How many times did you follow up? Yeah. They need to get on the phone, build a relationship with that person, because relationships is everything.
But in fairness, they're trying to do everything, Michael. No wonder they only have time to call somebody once, because they're trying to answer the title company and they're trying to figure out what mailer they're going to do. And, you can't, I've lived this life, guys. I'm telling you, when I started, I was half a broke. I didn't even have enough money to be considered broke. And I was trying to do it all myself, but I knew I needed to be doing more things. But my God, I was already working 14 to 16 hours a day. Yeah. there was just no more time.
But that's why they can simplify it now.
Yeah.
And that's what's so great about this is the simplification of the system by saying, okay, I have somebody that's going to make sure that my deals get to title.
Right.
I have an AI system that's going to start getting those leads for me.
Mhm.
And now I can focus in and I can do an automation to follow up. The automation the follow-up can be automated.
That's what I
That's
love
easy.
about it.
That's like that. Like that's nothing. And if you book a call with me, like we can even talk a little bit about that because I
Yeah.
built automations for some of the biggest guys in the real estate coaching industry
Yeah.
and also in the real estate side of stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's the easy part. And so this will simplify your whole system. So you do have the time. And like David said, getting off at 2 p.m. to go pick up your kid and go have ice cream with them or go out and hang out with them.
That's why we do this business.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
For
That's
the
why you
freedom.
got into it. So
Right.
don't let the excuse of I don't have time be the thing that steals you away from doing why you got into it.
Right.
And
So I have
yeah.
a question for you. You talked about you can connect to 10 platforms. Can you tell us what some of the 10 are?
Yeah.
What are you finding is the best performing right now?
Okay, so the best performing right now are definitely going to be Meta, which would be Facebook and Instagram, and then Google. So you could go Google. You could also go YouTube with Google as well.
Oh.
Google search. YouTube is considered Google underneath our platform because when you
Right.
connect your Google, it connects to your YouTube. And so you can do all those. We also do have TikTok. I have found some investors do actually get some good leads off of
Really?
TikTok. They definitely spend less. They
Right.
definitely have to have a few more leads coming in. It's like that difference between lead to close. So
Yeah.
we're finding Meta is right about 1 in 15 on average closes. One lead,
great.
one deal per 15.
Mhm.
And then Google's a little closer to the 1 in 10. We do have people that are performing better, obviously, but I always like to stay at the safe side.
So are those like Google PPC leads?
Yeah,
Or
those are PPC leads. We also have PMax, which is connected in, which is going to be very important to pay attention to as AI starts to do more and more. Google's not going to want to lose their ad revenue.
Right.
So Google PMax is going to be one way that they're going to look at possibly pushing out to Gemini. So that's one thing. And then we also have Snapchat. We also have LinkedIn. Those aren't
Snapchat
really
a thing? Do people? I call
not
it
not for investors. That's
Okay.
more for the e-com people and stuff like that. But yeah, so those are like the other ones. We also have Bing. Bing's a good one. It's like Google PPC.
Right.
It's
I've always heard Bing was good because it comes installed on all the laptops, and that's what the old people do because they
Exactly.
don't know how to put Chrome on.
That's exactly why it's so good.
Yeah.
And so we do have Bing connected in as well.
Mhm.
And then for our agents, if you're an agent and investor both, we also have local service ads through Google,
Wow.
which are a pay per lead. So through
Oh.
Google. Yeah. So it's kind of I always tell people, if you're an agent, you need to
Mhm.
have those turned on no matter what, because
Right.
it is literally when somebody searches realtor near me or agent near me, it's literally the first thing that pops up.
No kidding.
It's
And what
literally
about
top.
YouTube? How do you are they to become video ads or how
Yep.
does
So
that work?
YouTube would be video ads. So those are video ads. Some people do really well at them. It really depends on the market.
Mhm.
Like the market you're in. I always tell people start with Meta and PPC.
Mhm.
And once you get one of those down or both of those down, then start exploring the other options. And it's not bad to explore the other options. It's just you want to start where there's proven success.
Right. And good metrics
and good metrics to follow and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's like Spotify. We connect to Spotify. And I
Oh.
personally know that Spotify ads, I feel like that they would do good in the investor space, not
Mhm.
in the e-com space or the product space. But we haven't started pushing our investors to them yet.
Mhm.
But I know that that's going to be something that investors will start looking at. And I'm just saying it now. So now somebody on this call is going to be like, you know what? I've been doing the Facebook. I've been doing the Google.
Yeah.
going to give that Spotify a try. Somebody along the way is going to do it.
Yeah, and I love that, again, somebody with 20 years experience, you can see, like, it's like the way we can see title problems, you can see
Yeah.
the next evolution out there. But yeah, once, let's use UpRank, guys,
Yeah.
get your system in, get it producing leads, and then let's start testing a little bit, right? And that's how I always used to look at my PPC and Facebook ads is, can I add something radio, right? Let's just be crazy, right?
Yep.
Can radio produce, cost per lead, cost per contract better than Facebook? If it can't, F it, it's out.
Right.
I'm sticking to the thing that works. But I'm always willing to test because I don't know. Right? You just never
Absolutely.
know.
That's all marketing is.
Mhm.
Marketing is just taking something and putting it out there and
Yeah.
letting the customers decide for you. It's not you bringing your opinion to the table
Right.
and saying, "Well, I don't like the way that looks."
Yeah.
Well,
Dude, how many times do we do that as business owners? This
Put
is
it
going to
out
be
there.
the greatest idea ever.
Yep.
And you're like, it's the biggest flop you've ever seen, You're like,
Yeah.
oh, this won't work. And it
But
takes off.
exactly. The one you put on the back shelf for too
Yeah.
long is the one
Right.
that's is going to take off. And the
Gotta be
one that you're
testing.
saying, "Oh, everybody needs to hear about this." Nobody cares about it.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Michael, thank you so much, man.
Well, thank you,
I
David.
feel like we've said it all, guys. If you're looking to grow your business,
Yep.
we are here to help. This is literally why we both get up every single day, is to make sure that you are successful, right? That more of your deals close. And ultimately, like Michael said, the reason that we're in this business, right? We want to make money and we want to have that freedom, that time freedom to travel or spend time with family or volunteer or whatever, make a lot of money and own a private jet, like whatever you want, like it's achievable for you,
Yeah.
right? You just have to be smarter than me because it took me so long to figure this out. Do not try to do everything yourself because there's just a bandwidth. There's a ceiling of the things that you can accomplish in even 14 hours a day. And you're not going to get to where you want to be. Scan these QR codes, book a call. We would love to talk to you and really just see how we can weave both of these services in and literally, see you 2, 3, 4, 5x your business in 2026.